This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and I'm in a pissy fucking mood. I actually just typed a long thread on my Twitter account, and now I'm gonna do a fucking rant, hopefully not as long, on the same subject here, because it's just amazing to me how much the Democratic Party and progressives overall like to fucking shoot themselves in the fucking foot and get downright stupid when it comes to just things like, seriously, for one, this may be my old man talking, but this is part of the reason why I'm always saying to my boy Cardiac how the social media era has just really, really fucked up how some of y'all come to grips with things and how you discuss things and how you have actual real arguments and discussions over things and how you comprehend things as well. Okay, so what I'm talking about is Barack Obama did an interview where a couple of things came up, but the one thing in particular people seem to have taken away from it is that he said that he did not think that the hashtag slogan defund the police was a smart idea. Basically what he was saying, he felt like it kind of lost people once it was said, and that he cautions the Democratic Party and progressives in using certain slogans like that because they could be detrimental to what you want to get. Man never said that he was against the ideas behind it. None of that. In fact, I wonder how many of y'all really pay attention enough to remember that this was a guy who set up a system to where the police system had to meet certain grades per police department. If they didn't meet certain grades, there'd be penalties and complications that came with that. I believe that I'm not saying that I know exactly, but I believe part of it was they would get dinged financially, which is kind of what the defund the police hashtag is all about. Restructuring, reorganizing, and reallocating how police departments are being funded, as well as reforming the system and how they do things, how we allocate certain funds to certain departments, to certain types of training, things like that. Obama had this whole thing where they had to adhere to a certain standard, which Trump came in and was like, nah, y'all don't have to do that no more. I've abolished that with an executive order. So keep in mind that the criticism that Obama is getting is being given to a man who was pushing for police reform and did some things to help push, as I always say, push the ball forward in that department. But because he doesn't believe that defund the police is is terminology that should be used, and you have Ilhan Omar, and why is it always the squad? That's the thing that bothers me the most too. It always seems to be the squad that comes out in front with these takes, which are bad takes. Again, I have nothing against the squad. I think they're some of the best things going right now in the Democratic Party. I think they're all brilliant women who can go far and who can do a lot of good things for this country. But they always seem to be at the forefront of things that make themselves look bad. And this is one of them. Why are you criticizing him for that? He doesn't like the slogan. He never said that he does not like the idea of reforming the police system, and to fixing it, and to taking away funds for certain places and allocating to other areas, which is what you want, right? Or at least maybe I'm lost, because when I remember the defund the police um, thing started, that's what people were calling for. Like, we need to change the way the police system in this country works, how law enforcement operates. We need to reallocate funding to training people to deal with certain things, so that the police or like regular street cops wouldn't have to deal with certain things. Like, we have to shift funding to create different part departments that are better equipped and better trained to handle simple social um, conflicts, like, husbands and wives are arguing and things like that. Instead of just sending our normal officers in who aren't trained at dealing with certain social issues properly to handle them and to deal with domestic issues, like maybe shifting things towards counselors and things like that. More people in social departments statewide, things like that. Right? Like, you weren't trying to just take all money away from the police, which a lot of people kind of took defund the police to be, because let's be honest, like, when you hear defund, you think that, like, if I defund something, I prevent it from continuing to receive funds. That is the definition of defund. So you said defund the police. You block the police from continuing funds, which you don't want to not give money to the police, because you do want a police system, a law enforcement system, to help protect people. What you want is, you don't want, to continue to fund programs within the system that aren't beneficial and that don't make the police department, perform in the capacity that people think should, that it should do. I mean, again, I get it because I read. I don't just look at hashtags and things like that, or look at slogans and just go with that. I'm like, I actually look into the harder things and listen to people. But the reality is, there's a lot of people who don't listen and don't look. Even within the Democratic Party, there's people who are kind of, actually debunked that whole cause. Unlike what Obama did, which was just to say, y'all might want to, like, change your slogan. It basically was his whole thing, because that shit don't work. But, not a lot of people understand that it's about reallocating funding and, like, building a better police system. A lot of people see defund and they go by the actual definition of the word, and they fucking be like, you want to get rid of the police now? What the fuck? And I don't understand how they didn't get that's what he was saying. Is that, you have to be careful, because there are a lot of people out there. But people have been, and that's the thing that makes it even worse. People have been saying that since the defund the police shit started. Like, some people are going to think that y'all are trying to get rid of police. That's not what you're trying to do, though, right? And then when you like, we're not, and you got to explain, but you keep putting that, like, thing out, and people just don't pay attention. They just see that, and they be like, you want to get rid of cops. So you have to explain, which makes it a bad slogan, because it's like a joke. If you have to explain the joke, then the joke clearly isn't working. It's not as funny as you think it is. Or it's not as effective as a joke you think it is. And that was the gist of Obama's statement, is that the slogan was counterintuitive. And it definitely was, because Republicans latched onto that statement and they wrote it into the ground. And this is why we don't have the conversation that we should be having about police reform now. Because part of it was derailed by them grabbing that poorly worded statement. And I'm not as nice as Obama, because Obama didn't even say that it was poorly worded, or that he was just like, yo, yeah, as soon as y'all said that, that shit was a problem. That was the worst he went. He didn't say, like, it was stupid, but I'm saying it was kind of stupid in hindsight. It was poorly worded, well intentioned. So come up with something else. Or, as I said in my rant, because I did this whole Twitter rant, just be very, very plain. It's like, Democrats have never been, at least in my lifetime, looking at all the Democratic presidential nominees that have won, they've never been about these hashtags and slogans in my time. Like, I know a lot of people probably would be like, well, what about the Yes We Can? That shit came after Obama got elected, and people started to push the Yes We Can thing. It wasn't what he ran on, He ran on the platform of, like, we need change, and, like, we need to build a better society. He was plain and open about what he wanted to do. Same thing with Bill Clinton. He was plain and open about what he wanted to do. Hell, looking back, like, I wasn't old enough to comprehend at the time it happened, but looking back in history, same thing with Jimmy Carter. He had his platform. He spelled it out. He gave his agenda. He didn't tie it to a slogan. But you look at the Republican Party, that's kind of what they have done. And what has worked for them, because even though it seems to work for them, I should say, because even though they've had candidates ride into office off a slogan, it wasn't the slogans. It was always something else. Like, George Bush Sr. didn't win because of, any slogans that he came up with. Hell, he lost because of that slogan. I forget the name of the slogan, but it was like something about American families that he ran on against Clinton. That didn't work, but you look at Trump, everybody thinks MAGA is why he won. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. No, he won because underlying the whole MAGA thing was the ideology that conservatives and extremists were not happy with the direction that the country was going to as far as progression. We had a black man as president. That's too far. That makes it so that everybody feels like they can have a chance, and that we live in an equal society, a society of equality. And that's just not going to fly. More important, it's the fear of things like socialism, because, again, that's another buzz term. Like, Republicans run off of buzz terms and slogans. They wrote the socialism thing into the ground to scare you, because, like everybody considers socialism to mean Russia, to mean communism, to mean we're going to be just like them, which is not true. But that's what they do. That's how they connect with their voters, and that's how they push. Democrats have always pushed just straightforward, plain talk. Tell me what it is that you want and what's your agenda. Cool. It's about equality, making things better for everybody, giving people like a better quality of life and all that. Cool. I'm with you. Let's go. Just tell me what you want, what your agenda is. If I think it's cool, I'm going with you. If I don't think it's cool, I'm not going with you. Don't need these words and slogans and shit like that to cover up the fact that I just want somebody who's going to make sure that what I feel and what I think is going to always last, and that I can be better than everybody else and all that shit that Republicans do, but this is the thing, and the fact that this is the response to Obama's comments kind of proves him true, because this is exactly how the Republicans want it to be. They want us to be fighting and to be very, very divided over the things that we champion. You took him saying that slogan was detrimental, which it was. It's not like the slogan did not hurt people or it didn't hurt the view of the Democratic Party to people. It did. It's not like he didn't lie. But you've taken it now and you've made it this whole like, oh, so you don't believe in the cause. It's not what he said. God damn it. It's not what he said. But that's how y'all took it. You're offended that he doesn't think that slogan, and you're offended at the fact that it's a slogan. It is a slogan. It is a fucking slogan. Again, separate that hashtag, that slogan, from the cause. It's just like when people try to debunk the slogan Black Lives Matter. I don't pay nobody any mind if I say Black Lives Matter, who'd be like, well, no, all lives matter. Because, like, you clearly not trying to pay attention, or you truly trying to not have a real conversation. You're just trying to debunk this shit, so fuck you. You know what I mean? Leave it alone. But, of course, it has become harmful. That became harmful, too. And, you know what? Yeah. For some people, it became like that rallying cry, but you know what? You don't give a fuck. And that's the thing. If you really, like, believe in the cause, you be like, yeah, I can see how you think that. But at the end of the day, we all know what it means. And that's the thing. All he was saying, like, yo, that shit might have fucked up things. And it did fuck up things. And either way, it doesn't change the agenda or what the goal is. So, I don't know. I'm rambling now because I'm just tired of progressives doing this to themselves. Oh, like, you end up cannibalizing yourself for no reason. Yo, this dude was saying that AOC needs to have a bigger platform because she's the future. Y'all totally ignored that, by the way. He totally went with what I said in my AOC video, which was, yo, she could be bigger than what she is, and she could be a whole lot more. But you dismissed it because of a little bit of criticism. That's the thing. You have to be able to take criticism with praise. You cannot get fucking upset because someone has something critical to say. And I feel like that's what's happening to the Democratic Party with this new progressive wave, is that the lack of, like, it is weird because you're upset at him by showing lack of nuance when he was making the point that people lack the nuance to understand what you were saying with defund the police. It's mind-boggling. That shit's just, oh, my brain explodes at the craziness of it. We need to get our shit together, and we need to get over that, for real. Like, seriously. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up and be able to have conversations. Real fucking conversations. Again, people, please. He wasn't fucking burying the ideas, the ideology that goes with defending the police. He just said that he felt like just those three words together caused problems, which we saw it did. He ain't lie. He ain't fucking lie. Anyway, as always, you guys, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you later. This your boy Blak, Magus, and I'm out. Deuces.